Welcome back to the Build Show. I'm your host over here at the Empower Gaming Studio. Yes, it's been a few days. I do apologize. But quite literally, it has been. Is any of that coming through? Can you guys hear like a million people talking over there? Okay, welcome back to the Build Show. We're back, finally, right? Today, you guessed it, we're gonna build another PC. So, yeah, this past week it's been nuts. We've been pretty much just simply working on open loops all week. It's just been open loop week. Open loops, open loops, open loops. It's like the attack of the open loop. I don't understand why they come in bursts like this, but they do. It's like a pack of women. They always travel in groups, but it's open loops. Anyway, let's talk about the build tonight. I did update the exclamation point build command in the chat. So you're more than welcome to exclamation point build throughout any time of the build during the stream, and you'll receive the specs of the build. So let's go ahead and see who's in here. Tony, welcome back to the Build Show, sir. I hate YouTube. 2 minutes ago is nuts. Oh my goodness. Why is it nuts? Welcome back to the Build Show, though. Chris Dragon, what's up, man? Welcome back to the Build Show. And Tony is also over on Twitch as well. Welcome, everybody, back to the Build Show. We're here for build number 4 for Rachel. I'm sorry, build number 14 for Rachel. Watch streak. Oh, nice. You got a really nice watch streak going there, Tony. All right, so let's go ahead and run down through the build out. Today we're going to be building with an Intel processor. I'm surprised our last Intel supporter's not in here in the chat all over this. Flow is epic. What's up, man? Welcome back to the Build Show. Sheffy Tech, thank you for the sub over there on Twitch, and welcome back to the Build Show. And thank you for the follow, 9. That's a lot of noise in the background for over here, guys. I don't know if it's coming through the mic. If it is, I apologize. Anyway, we've got the Intel Core Ultra 7, which is the 265KF LGA 1851 processor that we're going to be building with tonight. So we're changing it up, you know, from the AMD string that we've been on. But we got a really good deal from this bundle. Actually, you can tell from the sticker. If you're familiar with that sticker, it's from Micro Center. So it's a really good bundle, which is the only way we could be building this PC for the price we're building it for, was because of the Micro Center bundle. And of course, finding a halfway decent deal, if you can call it that, on an SSD, a 2 terabyte SSD. So we've got the Core Ultra 7 265KF, and then we've got 32 gigs of DDR5, which is the Crucial Pro series. This is quote-unquote overclock Crucial Pro series, which is 6000 CL36. It's a great kit to start out with. And then we have the Asus AYW Gaming Z890 gaming Wi-Fi motherboard. This is I'm not the biggest fan of this series from Asus, to be honest, but I cannot complain because of the price that you're getting it for. You're basically getting the motherboard for free in this bundle from Micro Center, so you really can't complain about it. I don't see a GPU. The GPU is actually over here in the Zotac box. Flow is epic. Good call out, because we did have to purchase that directly from Zotac to get it. So I'll open that up and show you guys which one that is here shortly. But the Z890 AYW Gaming Wi-Fi W, which is also, I don't understand why there's an extra W at the end of this and what that means. I actually meant to look this up so I could tell you guys what it means. but we're going to put a big question mark next to this W at the end of the model. I'm assuming it means white. just a hunch. We also have our typical Thermalright contact frame with pretty much every build that we do. And this is the LGA 1851 BCF Black contact frame from Thermalright. The SSD that we're going to be using is a 2TB G70 Pro from Team Group, which is part of their T-Force series. We're going to be cooling the CPU with an Aqua Elite 360mm V6. Now we have 6 cylinders in our cooler. Just so everybody's aware, we have 6 cylinders now. Yeah. Hello, this is Rachel. Hey, welcome to the Build Show, Rudy Tuesdays. For anybody who's wondering or wants to chat with Rachel, Rachel's over on the Twitch chat. That's who we're building for tonight. So if you'd like to chat with her, head over to the Twitch side or pull up both, whichever you'd like to do. But we have the Aqua Elite 360 by Thermalright. Again, the V6. We're going to be powering the rig with a 850 watt 80 plus gold power supply by Thermaltake. This is the white version. I did this so we could get the power supply because I could get a really good price on this particular power supply. I think it was around $90, and most 850 watt power supplies were around that price. But it also got me the white power supply cables for the build, which matched the build theme, which is all white. So that is why we went with the Thermaltake Snow Edition. This is also one of the few white power supplies from Thermaltake that does have good reviews. So just want to throw that out there. What else? The graphics card is the RTX 4060. A little lighter on the graphics card, but that is because we went and put our budget into the platform to deliver a much better upgrade experience, as well as the color theme, all being white. Also had a little bit of an impact on our price or our budget, but it is a white RTX 4060 by Zotac Gaming. It's the Twin Edge, so if you're familiar with that. Flows Epic says I switched from YouTube to Twitch. Hey Tony. Yes, Tony is also over there. I'm so beyond excited. Oh goody. Yes, early stream. Well, earlier than normal. Later than I said I would be. Still, to this day, I'm always late. Go figure. Alright, so the Zotac graphics card that I was mentioning is the RTX 4060. It's an 8GB graphics card, and it is also in white. So it is going to go nicely with the all-white build. The case! Good question. What case are we building in? It is the Lian Li, I want to say Vector 1000? The VL100, sorry. It is, or the V100. The V100. So this is actually the first time I've ever built in this case, but the price from Lian Li is very attractive, coming in at like $64 for this ATX mid-tower. The only thing it doesn't include is any fans, which I'm okay with because we could pick up some really nice fans from Thermalright here, which is what we're going to be using. And with the ATX mid-tower, it allows 3 on the side as intake, 2 on the bottom, and 1 in the rear. So we'll be installing 3 or 5 intakes, 2 on the bottom, 3 on the side, and then an exhaust on the rear for extra exhaust. And then the cooler will be mounted on the top, but it is very similar to your Montech XR design, except for the front has a little bit of a slant, so it can't do all 3 fans on the bottom. So the bottom has a little slant downwards towards the glass, which is a little interesting. Cooler design. And he says, I'm all done with PC builds. Oh no, you're out. So I'm bored. Yeah, just jump on the drums. No white RAM? Yes. This is a Micro Center bundle, which is the only way we were able to make this build happen within the budget that we had. I mean, think about it. That would be $400. The board listed on Micro Center's price tag is $249.99, and then the price tag on the CPU is $400. Not that this is $400, but it's got to be somewhere in the neighborhood. So that alone would be $800 plus the $249. You'd be at $1,049 just for the 3 components, and that doesn't include the rest of the PC. Which, by the way, your 2 terabyte is pretty much $300 now. So that is why we didn't get white RAM. The only component in the entire build is the RAM that is not white. I guess I could take the heat spreaders off and paint them if that is such a bother. Congrats, Rachel. Yes, Chefy Tech, thank you. Let's see here. What's up, Killer Man? Welcome back to the Build Show. Happy Friday. Yes. Happy Friday. Yeah, man. I don't know if I told you. Welcome back to the Build Show and happy Friday. I thought Micro Center stopped building RAM for a while. Or bundling RAM. They did. But they are back. The RAM bundles are back. I think they saw a significant drop-off in the bundle sales after the RAM disappeared from the bundles, so they got the bundles back. The bundles are more expensive, but still way better deal than buying them separately. So if you are looking, and I hate saying this, but Micro Center is an unbeatable price when it comes to a CPU motherboard RAM bundle right now, brand new. One of the downsides is if you ever have to return one or the other, like let's say your motherboard's bad, or let's say your RAM is bad, you can't just return one. You have to return all three of them if you are returning it. Replacing, you can take it back and get a replacement. What's up, Zwerg? Good evening. Welcome back to the Build Show. Thank you for the follow over there on the Twitch side. Dang, look at that Intel build. I knew you were going to come in, Tat Daddy. Mr. Roy, I knew you were coming. I knew you could feel it. You could sense that tonight it was going to be an Intel build, and you were going to be here. I knew it. But welcome back to the Build Show. All right. So, without further ado, we shall get started on this build, shall we? What's Max doing? He's down here literally letting it rip every 5 minutes next to me. It is quite the smell. I'm not going to lie about this. I've gagged at least 3 times tonight. Sitting at my desk, working on trying to get the stream started, and I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Like, send him outside, hoping that maybe he goes and does something to expel the smell from his... Anyway, that is what Max is doing. Oh my gosh, that's my dog, so I had to move away from her. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and then they look at you as if they're offended. It's like, well, you're moving away. You're like sitting next to me? Dad's over here. And then, come here. Come here. Come in the center. What do you see? Sorry, this little miss had to come and say hi to Dad. But now we'll get started on the build. Okay. Let's get started on this build. Oh, that's one of the many girls that I have in this house. All right. Girls keep you patient. They teach you great patience. What's up, Steve Anderson? What's going on, man? Welcome back to the Build Show. Tap copy. I know another Twitch streamer that goes by Zwerg. Oh, interesting. Nice. German, Swiss. Das sprechen Sie Deutsch? I don't know that much German. I just know enough to maybe listen and translate a little bit. He's got a few smart customers. Yes. We were supposed to do that this weekend, or this week, and we did not get to it. We've been dealing with open loops all week. It has been quite the open loop week, by the way, guys. It has been open loop crazy. Like, tomorrow I have to have, like, some major progress done, so we're going to be pretty busy. Hello, little one. Hello, everyone else. Yes, the little miss had to come say hi. Ant-Man. Rachel is over in the Twitch chat, yes. Also, I just found out today that I am 100% out of paper, and I couldn't print. Dude! Oh my gosh. Go outside. Oh. Sorry. Mr. Max is over here letting it rip every 5 minutes. Anyway. Z-Work says, I spent the last 2 days picking parts, and I still don't know if I make a mistake in parts or two. Okay. Or if you're making a good choice. How much would you spend if you want to be safe on the next 2 years? And then I want to switch to GPU and maybe RAM out if needed. Well, we could start with what is your current PC parts picker list? And the best way, honestly, to do this is to join the Discord channel and post it there, and then we can actually have the proper amount of time to dissect it and go through all the list of parts that you have, which is what I would recommend doing. If you'd like to join the Discord channel, it's !Discord, and you could drop it there. But if you want to list out the parts in the chat, you can. It's just easier to do it through the Discord. So if it gets lost in chat for some reason. This build is going to eat 1080p for breakfast. Oh, yeah. And I think she does more, if I remember our conversations, more than just gaming. She needed it to also do some, I think it was wasn't it 3D applications, Rachel? Rudy Tuesdays? Okay, let's drop a CPU into this motherboard. CAD, that's right. I knew that. I'm sorry, I talked to like... I feel like it's 1,000 people every week, but it's not. It's more like 15, 20... maybe 30 different people about different computers and different problems and different situations and stuff. But as I get older, it feels like more. My budget is around 3.3. So that's the other thing, is I am not familiar what it translates to US dollars. And it will also be different because not all the same stuff that's available here in the United States is available where you are. So posting it in the Discord is probably going to be the best option. Yeah. See you later. Sorry, I was saying goodbye to somebody that was leaving. Our door's right behind me, by the way. Alright, now that we've got the CPU socketed, we'll go ahead. We'll see you later, Anna. We'll go ahead and get the stock contact frames out and then install the Thermalright frame. What's up, some giant idiot? Welcome back to the Build Show. Thanks for posting the, or dropping the link there. Yeah, we built a few back then. I was also full-time back then. I'm not full-time right now. It's just not profitable enough right now for me. So, unfortunately, I am not doing this full-time right now. Although it feels like a full-time job on top of another job. But that's okay. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's slow. And that's one of the main problems, is it's up and down. Or I would 100% be doing this full-time. I enjoy doing this type of stuff way more. So instead, during the day, I'm like a PC builder superhero. During the day, he's an IT guy. During the night, he's a PC builder hero. I don't know, something like that. But that is what it takes to make it happen right now. Like I said, I wish I could do this full time, but there's just not enough money, man. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of people think you make a lot of money building PCs because they're like forking out thousands of dollars for PCs, but I gotta tell you, like 95% of your budget is going to parts. Maybe 5% ends up, maybe 10%, depending on the, you know, the build that you're doing, of course. But profit margins on PCs right now suck. That's all I can tell you as a PC builder. You're not making much money with the way prices are right now because people can't afford it. Also, back in 2023, just for the record, I did a ton of budget builds, which I have kind of steered away from because it would take, you know, it takes a couple hours to assemble it. Well, for the budget builds, it would probably take me like 30 minutes to assemble. And then after that, it's about an hour or two to install Windows, install the drivers, do the BIOS update and all that other stuff, test it, package it, and either ship it or get it ready for pickup. And sometimes, actually 9 times out of 10, when you come pick it up here, I usually go through a walkthrough on the PC so you can, you know, learn a little bit about the PC, how to clean it, how to maintain it, how to plug your, for example, monitors into the graphics card versus onboard video, how to change the RGB through the software, how to connect it to Wi-Fi, because a lot of times this is the first PC for people, so you have to do kind of that little tutorial, and that takes time. That's like another 30 minutes. So if you stack it all up, you're probably spending a good 6 to 8 hours on a PC in total, from start to finish, from the start of the process of, hi, I'm looking for a custom PC, to giving them the quote, to doing the invoicing, to then purchasing the components, to then verifying the components are all correct when they arrive, to, which is procurement, and receivables, and then you have the build itself, and then the software side of it, and then the testing, and that it all adds up. It's like 8 hours to do it right. So you spend a lot of time on them. So when you do it all with budget builds, yes, what you do establish is a customer base, and that customer will eventually come back to you. But the return time for a customer is years. So it takes years before you see that customer come back. We're just now starting to see some of those 2023 customers come back because they're like, you know, my RX 580 is just not cutting it anymore. You know, because it's a $500, maybe $600 budget build. That's what you would get. back then. So, and it was still a, you know, very capable. It's still actually today a very capable 1080p card if you really needed a budgety card. The 1080p, the RX 580. The downside is the driver support that you're losing on it now. So, anyway, that is why 733 builds happened in 2023. Lots of budget builds. I was working full time on this, trying to make this work. I spent a lot of money on marketing, trying to really push it and make it work, and it almost worked. It was close, but then I'm like, man, I am just I'm burnt out doing all these budget builds. So I started focusing more on higher end builds and sprinkling in some budget builds here and there when, you know, somebody hits me up and I could tell they're desperate for some help. I'll help out, you know, where I can, but I'm just not going to do 15 budget builds in a week. Not again. We're done with that. I just can't keep up with that. Plus, you know, with budget builds, you're only making like 50 bucks maybe, and it's just not worth it with the time. Yeah, I'm always trying to help people. You have a good brand, you can maximum $200 of profit, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, my build fee here is $200, so that is basically what I'm making per build, is pretty close to $200. In which channel should I put the list? You could drop it in the support channel. Just drop it there. Or hardware chat, one of the two. I just tape a PS5 inside a PC case and I sell that for $2,000. I'm rolling in paper. Some giant idiot. That's shame on you. Shame. You need at least RGB in there. Come on. Yeah, some giant idiots, right? Some hardware chat. Sounds like a lot. It is. It can add up. It can add up. So if you're doing a lot of budget builds and there's not a lot of margin on it, then it just doesn't make sense to, you know, do that volume. You need more. Tom Peck, you better hope the blue boy isn't in here tonight. He's here. He's here. And that's over on YouTube. Roy, if you want to jump over on YouTube and defend yourself. I mean, defend Intel. I like the idea. Yeah. Well, we're focused on builds and, you know, back to more of a enjoying the build versus the volume, where I was losing my mind. I think in 2023 during December, when I finally got through all the builds that were ordered through the month of December, leading up to Christmas Day, you know, I got everything out. I didn't miss a single build. Everything got where it needed to go before Christmas Day. Thank goodness. But that took me working until like 5 in the morning and then getting back up at like 8 and then going. And I didn't shower for like a week, just to give you an idea of like how crazy it was. And finally around Christmas Day, I was just dead. I was sleeping all day Christmas. I just couldn't handle it. So didn't really like that. So we kind of let off the gas pedal, so to speak, while I'm working. Ask Jay. I'm selling my PS5 tomorrow. I don't use it, and I'm going to get a PS4 to jailbreak. Oh, nice. That'll be interesting. Maybe make a video on how you did it. Start a tech channel. How to break a PS4 or jailbreak one. Did you schedule the build by pretty much? It was build. I would just start a stream, Cheffy Tech, and then I would just ping the folks that I was building for, and I'm like, look, I'm building your PC right now, come watch if you want to watch. It was getting dry. You didn't get as white glove of an experience. Even right now, it's not as white glove because I'm just everywhere right now. I'm just being pulled in a million different directions. Keep up on communication. Usually I'm pretty good with communications, and I try to give people at least 24 hours heads up. Hey, we're going to be doing your build. Like today, I emailed Rachel earlier today, letting her, I was like, oh shoot, I never emailed her to let her know we're planning to do her build tonight. So I try to do that at least 24 hours in advance, just to give them a heads up so they can plan around it. But back then, I was just pinging people while I was starting their build. Hey, we're live building PCs right now, and your build is happening now. Get in here. So the difference in communication was way different. And we would do, like, I was doing, if you go look at December's streams back in 2023, I was doing like 5 or 6, sometimes even more in one stream. So we just kept going and going and going. I did post it in the support channel. Okay, I'll pull it up. Let me go grab my phone. Move back. All right, let's go look at it. We're trying to get to the support channel here on my phone so I can pull it up and look. All right, so we've got the graphics card is an Asus Radeon RX 9070 XT 16 gigabytes, an excellent choice for a 1440p rig. Paired with the AMD Ryzen 7 9700X, which is the 8-core 16-thread, maximum boost of 5.5 out of the box. It is also a tray processor, for the record. An ASRock, I would scratch the ASRock brand to be honest with you. ZWorg. I've had some pretty bad luck with AM5 ASRock boards, so my opinion, just steer clear of ASRock. And it's not because I hate the brand, it's just because I hate their AM5 boards as of right now. I've had way too many problems with them. So I'd go Asus, MSI, or Gigabyte, and I would honestly lean more on Gigabyte than any of those brands. They've been a pretty solid brand, but Asus and MSI are also great options. Just a recommendation. Your RAM is the Crucial Pro overclocking, similar series that we have here, 32 gigabyte 6400 CL32. You don't really need to go 6400 CL32. You could probably save some money and go 6000 CL30, just another note. But the RAM should work perfectly fine. I would also double check that the RAM is on your QVL list of whichever motherboard that you are choosing is listed there under the support list, just to make sure that it is supported. The Noctua NH-D15 G2. Nice. I think that's the air cooler, isn't that's that beast of an air cooler. And then we have a Crucial T705 SSD, 4 terabyte M.2. I believe that's a Gen 5 drive. It is. So it's a Gen 5. I mean, that's a great drive. Obviously, right now with the prices, you could save some money and go 2 terabyte, and then maybe add some physical, or not physical, mechanical storage like hard drives to save some cost if you need to do that. That's one tactic you could do, but it's more of an archive slash storage option rather than using it for games and titles like that. And it is much slower storage. But if you needed to save some money, that's one strategy you could use. Be Quiet Power Zone 2 1000 watt ATX 3.1. A little heavy on the power supply. For the 9070 XT, you don't really need the 1000 watt, but if you're planning to upgrade in the future the graphics card, then the 1000 watt is a nice have, because you're investing now for a future upgrade, which is good. The Fractal Design North XL Chalk White. An excellent case. And then you're also going with all Noctua NFA14 Industrial PPC 2000 wow, RPM fans at 140 millimeters. So those are great fans. They'll definitely move some air for you. It'll be like a massive wind tunnel in there, so it'll do a good job. I mean, it's an excellent build, other than the ASRock motherboard confirming that your RAM is on the QVL list for the recommended Gigabyte, Asus, or MSI board. And then if you wanted to save some cost, you could maybe do a 2 terabyte M.2 and go with some other storage. But if you're going with Gen 5, that obviously means you want performance storage, so maybe don't do that. Just a thought. Ask Jay says, as a person with 12 fans in their PC for a 5070 and a Ryzen 7 7700X, it's always better to go big than not have enough. Yes, I agree with that. Intel guy, that's okay, Tom. Oh my gosh. The conversation happening over here. Minimum wage in Washington State is $18.50 per hour. That's $148 US a day. That's not bad. I mean, if you work 7 days a week, doing pretty good. Or 5 or 6 days a week, you're still doing pretty good. It's doable. Oh, wow. I mean, Intel messed up badly. I agree with that, Tom Peck, or Toma PC. Yes, I agree. Intel did not do a great job with the 13th or 14th generation, but they have revived themselves somewhat on the Core Ultra series, aka 15th generation. Intel needed tuning to work out of the box. It did. Yes, a little bit. Undervolting is kind of what we really needed to do, unfortunately. I honestly, Steve, regarding your DDR5 comment, I don't think DDR5 is going to stabilize anytime soon, and I would not be surprised if this stays the price of RAM and storage and graphics cards, the new price. This is like our, I wouldn't be surprised if it stays the price forever. It never comes back. It may never come back. It's only going to, the demand for the RAM is only going to keep growing. And right now we are in such a backlog, it's going to be nearly impossible to catch back up. It's going to take a very large investment from all three of these companies that produce these memory chips to expand. And I think there's only one of them that is currently in the process of expanding, which is going to take about a year or two to get there. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 26 or 27 is when they were talking about it. I'm sorry, 27 or 28. Explain that again. I don't know. Companies care about AI. Well, it's not that they care about AI, it's they care about dollar signs. Companies care about dollar signs. They don't care about AI. They don't care if it's AI or consumers that are buying it. They want money. And if AI is making them more money, then they're going to go that route. They don't care about people, they care about money. What's up, Sas? Sazuk? I always do this every time you come in here. I read your name and I'm like, I'm going to mess this up. Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Haven't liked Linus since the honey scandal. I don't think that was Linus's fault, to be honest. I don't think we could throw that all on Linus. You have 3 of the ASRock B650 boards in use. They are magnificent for the price. Yes, I know the price is very intriguing. Although the price is intriguing for a reason, because they are having a very difficult time selling them because they've had so many issues reported. And of course the YouTube Kool-Aid has pushed don't buy ASRock AM5. So now everybody is avoiding ASRock mother. I wouldn't be surprised if they just come out clean next socket and say, yeah, we're not doing this anymore. And then we lose ASRock, which I'd hate to see, but the boards were giving us problems. I experienced it. It sucked. Like right when AM5 came out, I was using a couple of their boards and it was a shitty experience. Excuse my French. Shouldn't have used that word. Hey Ben, quick question. Hit me. Sheesh. Asus owns it. Do they? I didn't even know that. What Is it like the basement crew for Asus? As a victim to ASRock's motherboards, that's right. Full dead on arrival. Yeah, I've seen it too. I currently have $420 left in budget for the series. You want to avoid, should I pick higher or lower? Well, I think the X870 is a good chipset, especially if you're planning to grow into that PC more. It's definitely a great board. I mean, you could give it a shot. Just make sure you could return the board. Z-Word. Make sure it has some sort of return policy on it. I don't want to, like, defer you from buying ASRock just because of what I said. But I would just use caution, buy smart, make sure you can return it after, say, 30 days or something, and get a replacement or a different board. I don't know what the RMA process is like over there in Germany, so... Okay. So, now that we've got the processor installed and the contact frame, we're going to go ahead and install our RAM, which is the Crucial Pro Series. It's 32 gigs, DDR5, CL36 at 6000 megahertz. We're going to install this in slots A2 and B2. And then next, we're going to install the SSD in the, I'm just going to put it in the top slot here, which is the T-Force G70, Pro G70. This is a Gen 4 by Team Group. Excellent drive to start with. I got bits of soup. Ah, there it is. No, you don't need to spend a lot of money on motherboards. It's a good point. Even a B850, if all you're doing is gaming, Z-Word is more than enough. You don't need to spend a crazy ton of money on it. All right. Now that we have the CPU installed into the motherboard with the contact frame and the RAM and the SSD, we're going to bust out the mounting brackets from the cooler, which is the Aqua Elite by Thermalright, and we'll get these set up on the board. It's planned for gaming, streaming, and a bit of video editing. So, you do a lot of cameras and maybe go with an X870 for the extra options on the back of the board, like USB. Those are nice to have for streaming, definitely. So, just things to consider are the features on the board itself that you gain. Okay, we got the mounting brackets installed. So that's good. Jimmy, what's up, man? Welcome back to the Build Show. Hey, man, what do you think of the Chinese RAM and NANds? I'd be worried about Wi-Fi sniffers. I don't know. I don't know if they would go to that extent. What work are you talking about, Roy? But try to catch up on the chat here, just trying to see where you guys are in this conversation. Holy smokes. Steve Anderson said the DLSS 4.5 will work good on cards back to the RTX 2060. FPS takes a hit, but the game looks so good. Yes. I don't think 4.5 will work. I think on like a 2060, I think it only works at like the 4000 series and the 3000, or the 4000 series and the 5000 series. If the 4000 series even supports it. Oh yeah, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. Yes. I wish the Lions were there. One day the Lions will be there. Hopefully while I'm still here. But maybe next year. There's no other peels on here. Was one, okay. So let's go ahead and break the case out and get this motherboard installed. Shall we? The one thumb screw on here on the back to remove the glass, and then pull it away from the case and it lifts right out. The backside panel, not much different except for the fact that there is no thumb screw at all. It just pulls away and lifts. The top panel, it looks like we just push up from the back here, from below, and then it lifts right off. Toolless entry to the case, which is a very nice premium feature. And then the glass, I'm pretty sure this just pops out. It does. So you push from the inside out and then lift up. That was for the front glass. And then they offer their typical, even for a $65 case, a very nice, organized, what do you call this, hardware kit, which I really like. It's a nice touch by Leon Link. We go ahead and lay this down. This case does, I think, have an RGB strip right here on the side, which is why we see some addressable RGB here. It's part of the case built into it. But really roomy. We've got the option for two reverse blades here for intake on the side, or on the bottom. And then we have the 3 intake on the side, 1 rear exhaust, and then the cooler mounted at the top, which is what we will be doing. So first thing I'm going to do is mount the motherboard. Get this mounted, and then we will start working on some of these case fans. We got a ton of those to do. I would like to also call out that they are using white cables on their front panel cables, which is a nice touch as well, a nice premium touch for a white case. That's what you want to see. This build is going to look very pretty. The only thing, again, that's not white in this build is the RAM, unfortunately, because of the Micro Center bundle, but that was the only way to cram this much horsepower in the budget that we had. It's going to be a solid performer, and the RAM is something she can always upgrade or change out later, hopefully when the prices come back down. Maybe one day. Okay, now with that installed, we can do our front panel connectors, which I do like to do. Before we do the fans, that way if there's any connectors that are in the way for the fans, I have awareness that it's going to be a problem. So I like to try to do those first. So I'm going to do those next. We're going to get our front panel connectors in, which on this motherboard we have USB 3 and USB-C here, which is a good sign, which means it's not going to be impacting the bottom fans down here. But we have HD audio and our front panel connectors here, and it looks like we'll be able to route our fans and our addressable RGB right there. So pretty much important area. One cable here, two cables here. Go. Sorry guys, not really looking at the chat. We're pretty much heads down trying to get these going. We did do a pretty long chat. I'll pause here in a little bit and we'll chat some more. Or at least get some progress. Since we've already been going for an hour. I barely did anything. Rudy Tuesdays, I love the case. Yes, it was a... I'm glad I went with this case. This is actually the first time I'm building in this case, Rachel. I've had my eye on it for a while, and I'm like, man, that is a really good deal. Next time we need a really good price on a case, I will use that. And that just so happened to be within within our build kind of requirements. So we ended up going with the case, and the case turned out really nice. I do like the case. I think this is like a promotion price by Lian Li. I have a feeling this price might go up a little bit because it is a pretty relatively new case. It's not been around that long. So hey Chris, welcome back to the build show, sir. Steve, I know what I mean. I have 4 PCs. I mean, I have 4 PCs, yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, 4 PCs is crazy. Well, I mean, I guess I have like 1, 2, 3. I have three. They're the PC builder dude. But they're all, you know, 3070s and down. All 3070 Ti's and down. So, what's the deal about Intel? Is it going to be low end? No, absolutely not. We just got a really good price on a Micro Center bundle for this to make a pretty high performer. It's an i7 or Core Ultra 7, sorry, not i7. So very, very good performer. It's not a bad processor. It's just not AMD. A lot of people are surprised when I build with Intel because I build so many AMD rigs. But what Rudy is doing, who is Rachel over on the Twitch side, she is mostly doing a mix of gaming and also CAD work, and CAD actually works a lot better with Intel. So that's one of the main reasons why I went with Intel for her as well. Is the 3D softwares play a lot better with Intel, like CAD and stuff. That's very nicely because of the white cables, which is again more of a premium from Lian Li, which I think is a nice touch for a white case. Something you want to see. Case also supports the reverse motherboards, which is a motherboard that has all the connectors on the backside. So if you wanted to use this case for that, it does have all the cutouts for that. So that's what these cutouts are for, as well as micro ATX motherboards for both ATX and micro ATX. Another reason why I'm shocked this case isn't more expensive. Yes, we're live. Did we freeze up? Nova Lake is coming. It's going to be good, Steve Anderson says. Yes, I agree. I think it'll be a good comeback for Intel, I hope. I don't, hate Intel. It's just AMD's been the better performer lately, so when it comes to, straight up gaming PCs, that's the direction we go. Okay, let's go ahead and start installing some fans. I'm going to start with the bottom fans and then work my way down the side. And for that, we have reverse blades. We got 2 of these Thermalright reverse blade fans that we're going to be installing here on the bottom. So what reverse blades means is that I can install the fan with the blades facing all the same direction in the rig. So the aesthetics are much more pleasing versus having them upside down and having the crisscross frame over the blades. So it looks a lot prettier is basically what happens. What's up, Dr. Protein Shake? What's up, man? Welcome back to the build show. I have internet upgrade coming. Nice. Fiber coming in, that's pretty cool. I still don't have fiber. I'm running on Comcast Business, which is just your typical cable, not fiber. And a 2K, 4K, and maybe 8K. AMD's great 1080p. AMD's, you could do 2K, 4K on AMD. Unless you're talking about like graphics cards, then 2K is probably the limitation. You can dabble with 4K on more single-player style games, but definitely not 4K with performance. Like 4K high FPS, you're gonna probably want to run like a 5090 or 5080 at least. But it's almost silly to try to run 4K and get quote-unquote high performance. May as well just go 1440p and try to get more FPS. Just 4K just doesn't make sense today. Pretty. So if you're playing a lot of single-player games and like Flight Simulator and stuff like that, by all means, go for it. Even Microsoft Flight Simulator doesn't like 4K. Hard to run it, especially if you're landing and taking off by the airports and stuff. What I've learned. Intel is just as good, except for 1080p. Well, I disagree with that. I'm switching to Quantum Fiber. You're gonna get the Quantum drive. So the case hardware does include the screws for the bottom fans, which is a nice touch, again, by Lian Li. I do like that. You're not sitting there scrambling for fan slash radiator size screws to install these fans. Nice little touch. The only thing I'm really wondering is if I install these fans, are these screws going to be poking in down in the basement far enough to get in the way of the power supply? I've had that happen before in cases. It was not a very fun experience. Because you're like, why would you even offer that? And offer the screws. And then, when I go to put the power supply in, they're in the way. Kind of dumb. Can't remember what build that was, but it was sometime in like 2024. It was a while ago. Stop buying that case. For a reason. Okay, so we've got the two fans installed. Yippee! Let's go ahead and get our side fans installed next. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this down so I have easy access to hold the fan and install, pull the cables through, etc., etc., etc. You guys get the idea? Tony, if you do editing or a lot of multitasking, Intel will take the win. I think AMD's got a pretty good lineup for multitasking. I mean, both great, in my opinion. It's just the big letdown from Intel was the 14th and 13th generation that were just degrading way too quick. You know, not all of it may have been their fault, but it was. So. Some giant idiot. I am not allowed to be a fanboy of either. You and I have a verbal conversation after we pat you down and remove any electronic recording devices from you. I will give you my true answer. My honest opinion. Okay, more fans. Or fans. A lot of fans. Ultra 9 versus the 9950X, I would probably go 9950X, but that's just me. But both would get the job done. Steve Anderson says, my 14700K is still going great. Yeah, there's not a lot of people that took care of them, though. Because you probably got the BIOS updates as they were coming out and stayed on top of it. Also, I heard a lot of rumors that Gigabyte motherboards did not help the degrading. That's another thing, is motherboard manufacturers didn't help because they stayed within spec, etc. Actually, what I get. Then there's other motherboard manufacturers that changed. Which I think was a smart move. But then you're not getting the full maximum power of what you paid for, you know, in some cases. I can't hate too hard on Intel. At least they're trying now. Do you undervolt or limit the VidMax at all? Or limit? I think that's a question towards some giant, or to Steve. No undervolt. So stock out of the box, huh? What's up, common viewer? Welcome to the Build Show, and thank you for the follow over there on the Twitch. Hey, what's up, FBI agent? Welcome back to the Build Show. FBI, open up. Yes. I'm building, streaming. Because I have to. Because Rachel wants her computer built. Because Rachel's wanting her computer built. Okay. Lovely. No, not on those boxes, please. But, interesting. I'm gonna look into that. What's that? It's been proven in a lot of testing that it is better. I don't know. Look into it also. I know one of the main reasons why I prefer AMD more than Intel is the constant history that Intel has about its addiction to changing sockets every 2 generations. Last socket lasted 3 generations, which is pretty cool by Intel. That's, I think, the first time they've ever done that. But it's definitely cool to see AMD with AM4 still going today, this day, with all the tech that it supports, PCIe 4.0, etc. On the same socket that they started with for the Ryzen series. Pretty impressive. Not gonna lie. And to this day, you can still buy a brand new CPU for it. And get the motherboards for it. So that's my point. Is like AMD has backed their customers to a certain point. But who knows? Maybe AMD will pull one out of Intel's pocket. Do the same thing. Only time will tell how it goes. But yeah, we definitely want both brands, obviously, because of the competition. So if there was no competition, then it would just be, for example, if it was just AMD, it was just, AMD would just price whatever they want, because there's no competition. Usually undervolting is by changing the offset to the negative in BIOS or with a software utility. It's definitely avoid doing it in software. BIOS, if you are going to undervolt, is the way to go. Preferably. For my first and current build, I choose AM5 immediately for the upgrade path, and AMD's got planned, yeah. That's why I drive a lot of people towards AMD. Is because of the upgrade path and the future support that it usually offers. I agree with that. That is one of the winning key points with AMD, unfortunately. For Intel. Unfortunate for Intel. Because of their past history. But who knows, maybe Intel will support the socket longer this time around, and maybe they'll surprise us. I don't know enough about this socket to really go into detail. Oh crap, I lost the fan. Go. Oh, there you are. Very nice. Yeah, yeah. All right, one more fan to install in the rear. And then we'll probably put our power supply in. And then mount our cooler. We've already got all our case fans plugged in. We just have to do the cable management. Kind of funny how the 8600G and the 7600 are priced the same where I am. I think that's in most cases because the 8600 is a in less demand. It's already done. They're going to change the socket again. I really wish they would, you know, look at what AMD's done and kind of run with that for a little bit. Chef Attack B580 for the win. Oh yeah, Intel's graphics cards have been pretty dope. I'm not going to lie about that. They've done pretty good other than their support for more legacy type titles. But I mean, most people entering the gaming PC world are younger people that aren't going to play old titles like you and I. So it's a great option for somebody younger that just wants to play some Fortnite. It's a great budget option to start out with. Okay, there we go. We've got our rear fan installed now. So now we're good to probably drop a power supply in here. We could get our EPS cables in, and I'm just going to put the whole power supply unit in now versus doing it later. And I got to decide where we're going to send this. Looks like we can... AIO pump. CPU and option, so should be able to make this into CPU option. Gotta get all those connectors. I was just getting the rear fan plugged in here, and then our CPU fan daisy chain cable, and then our pump is going to go here on this one, and then our RGB for our top will be here. So we'll be able to control the channel to this fan, control the channel to these fans, and the RGB strip, and then the RGB on the cooler is going to be all separate channels or headers on the board that you'll be able to control. Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get the power supply in and move on to the graphics card after that. Or not the graphics, I'm sorry, the cooler, then the card. I'm so used to doing the power supply than the card. Kind of doing a little backward stuff here. FPI, I heard Intel's choice was to be more in line with their current architecture and stuff, but AMD played their cards well with AIM 4 and still kept strong even from Ryzen 1. Yeah, I know. They did such a good job maximizing the usage of that socket. And the fact that it's still available today and still used and purchased today is unbelievable. Been around for a long time. Darn, we didn't get a white power cord. Actually, I need the screws out of this. Have you guys noticed I haven't used a single zip tie in this build yet? That's a sign of a good case. Typically. I mean, I haven't really tried to cable manage the backside yet, but you get what I'm saying. Get where I'm going with this. Yes, I'm installing all the cables in the modular power supply. That way they are there in the case, not missing when she comes back and says, "Hey Ben, I want to do an upgrade. Where's your power supply cables?" "Oh, I don't know where those are." They'll be safe and sound inside the PC, not missing. That is where they will be. No, I didn't sniff the power supply. Stop asking. Sorry. Big letdown, isn't it? It's a white power supply, okay? I don't usually get white. There, you happy? I know people still want more AIM-4 as if the ones that we have isn't enough. And it's like, bruh, guys, the socket is maxed out. They can go no more. I mean, This is a pretty cool looking power supply. Not gonna lie. I even checked for those peels, and there's a peel there, but I'd have to fix that later. Anyway, we've got our power supply installed. More white. I don't think my camera can handle much more white. People still want more info. Yeah, as DDR4 also is half as much money. That's a good point. Also driving a lot of people to AM4. I did the 7600 X3D B850 build. That was actually really nice for the price, yes. I just did one, but it was a B650 Tech. Couple builds, few builds ago. I forgot I had these left. Well, thank you, Tony. I appreciate the bits. Appreciate that. 7 minutes ago, 500 bits. Thank you, sir. Mucho gracias. The face of devastation after sniffing the power supply. It wasn't devastating. It was actually a very, new car, new power supply smell. So now we can install our AIO, which is a Thermalright AIO, which means we're going to spend 15 minutes undoing twist ties. After we've done 2 twist ties for every single fan inside this case, on top of every twist tie on every power cable it is now in this case. I don't know if I can handle much more twist ties on this build. If I open the graphics card and there's a twist tie on it, I am probably going to throw the graphics card in the can and move on. I don't even care. No more twist ties, please. These twisty ties, also known as bread ties, for those of you who don't know what they are obnoxious when you do like 50 of them in a build. The reason why I don't cut them is because I don't like taking the chance of accidentally snipping a cord when I could just untwist them. It does take a couple of seconds, but they are annoying. Wish companies would listen to me when I say, please stop twist tying everything. Like they're twist tie addicts, and I get they don't want the cables floating around, but just put the plastic, and then put the cables on the outside of the plastic, and the cables aren't going to rub up on everything. They're going to do it anyway. I don't know. Just a thought. Okay. That thought. We get up here. And we need our radiator screws prepped and ready, so we're not sitting here looking silly trying to open them while we're holding the radiator. So I've only done that a few times on the stream. Got the screw magnetized on the screwdriver ready to go, and here we go. Oh boy! Just rip open that bread bag. Yeah, unless you want to save the bread, then maybe don't do that. Unless you're putting it in the Ziploc or something. Sounds stupid, but in Germany, it wouldn't make sense to switch the main board if I want the same connections and perks. Correct. Does not sound stupid. It was just a suggestion, Z-word. If you wanted to save some cost there, that is a possible savings point. But again, like I told you before, I don't know the cost difference between Europe and US dollars here. We're getting closer and closer and closer to being done. Oh, thank you. You put that one back. I'm still here, Steve. Oh, you're saying goodnight to Tom. Gotcha. Well, have a good night, Tom. And thanks for hanging out for us also. Make sure you click the like button. Yes. PC Build. Yes, King. Welcome to the Build Show. Exclamation point build in the chat if you'd like to see the specs of this build. And the setup has no... Yeah, with the Noctua fans that you were picking out for the build, yes. No RGB lights. Very nice fans, though. Okay. This is definitely starting to look like a PC. All coming together now. Quite literally, there's no going back. That's our V6 Aqua Elite, by the way, guys. It's got 6 cylinders. It does look like a PC build. Hey, what's up, Kato? Welcome back to the Build Show. You can do exclamation point build in the chat to spit out the specs if you're interested. But a quick overview is a Core Ultra 7 265KF on an Asus Z890 motherboard, which is the AYW Gaming Wi-Fi W motherboard, 32 gigs of DDR5, 2 terabyte M.2 Gen 5, an Aqua Elite 360mm AIO with Thermalright reversed and normal fans throughout the build, an RTX 4060, 8 gigabyte, and 850 watt power supply. So it's built, geared more for upgrades, future upgrades, making it easier for future upgrades, but also in mind with the build theme, which is all white. And the reason why the RAM is not white is because that was part of a bundle from Micro Center, which is the only reason we were able to get it within the budget that we got it for. Our pump that we needed to get plugged into the pump header, and this is a RGB connector that we will also run down in yonder. Kind of doing it blind here, so hopefully I'm not getting tangled up in other cables on the other side there. Do 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 do. Oh, what are you doing over here? What are you doing? Uh-oh. Are you running away from them? That's what's broken. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice and clean is how we want it. We will clean this up a little bit here. Once we get the cables kind of tidied up in the back, we'll start cleaning that up too. So don't worry about that, or don't think too hard on it. But let's actually go ahead and get our graphics card installed, which is going to be this slot and this slot. So we'll go ahead and remove our back shields for those. And get our card out, put that in, wire that up from the power supply, and then we can cable manage and then fire this thing up finally for the very first time. We are almost there, ladies and gentlemen, almost there. Don't worry, again, we're going to clean up some of these cables here, but really coming together now. Build question mark? Yakuza Gaming 1976. Welcome to the build show. You can do exclamation point build in the chat to receive the specs of this build. So that's exclamation point build. That's why I picked out the new parts. Okay, gotcha. It looks awesome. It's even lit up yet. It's not even lit up yet, and it looks awesome. Oh, thanks, Tony. If game developers could just optimize their games a little better, we could use DDR3. That's a stretch. It's all a scam to make money. Oh, well, yeah, it's always about money. Chris says, MVR, trust Facebook on computer parts, right? Never trust... No, you can trust computer parts on Facebook. It's just the seller. That's who you got to look at and determine if they're a trusted seller or not. And usually Marketplace has ratings just like eBay does. So take a look at the seller rating. Crypto Dream, what's up? It's a V1. It's a V100, yes. An equivalent GPUs to the 56 that are geared for 650 watts. Any equivalent GPUs. A B580 from Intel, maybe, and then the RX 9060. Those would be kind of equivalent within the ballpark. 5060 maybe being the better over the AMD, and I think the B580 actually might be a little bit better than the Intel, or I'm sorry, than the Nvidia card, RTX 5060. But its legacy is probably where it will get stuck. I actually discovered you through Marketplace. Oh yeah. Marketplace is not a bad place to purchase parts. Definitely not. So Rachel was saying she found me through Marketplace, which I do have a lot of listings on Marketplace. I do a lot of custom builds there, and I list a lot of builds and parts and things there. So we do spend a lot of time on Marketplace. It is a massive source of free marketing, and a lot of people use it. So at least here in Michigan, I don't know if it's the same in other states, but this thing is looking absolutely beautiful. So let's do the cable management on this backside. I know it's an anxiety inducing, but don't worry, this is not my first rodeo. Thought I had more white just kind of sitting around here, but I guess I have a few here. Figure it out. I do like this feature in cases that do have it. It's a really nice way to stuff your EPS cables off to the side and hold them, route them. Very, very easy to use. Really like that experience. I wish more cable management would be like this. It would make cable management so much easier. Oh yeah, we have to deal with plugging in all these fans as well. I forgot about that. Let's actually spin it around and deal with this real quick. What's that? What's that? What's that? Need that. And we need this guy. Oh boy. I actually don't know what got unplugged, if that got unplugged. Maybe that just broke off. Not a big deal, we'll figure it out. When we fire it up, we'll figure it out. If there's a missing fan, it's because I missed it here because of a connection that broke loose that I cannot find off the top of this harness. Rat mess of cables here. But it's okay, once we fire it up, we'll be able to identify which fan it is and trace the wire back. Obviously, fix the problem. Not even a problem, it's just a matter of build process. Yeah. We're cutting cables. We're cutting twists. Okay. I'll try to put all the cables in the basement here, but I'm also trying to keep the ventilation open because there's intake fans on the bottom there. So we want to try to keep it open, but at the same time we want the cables down there in the basement. That is one of the tricky parts of this case. Okay. We're nearly there. We just gotta button this up a little bit and we're good to go. I told you it wasn't as bad as you thought it would be. You can even pack this up here and put it right here nice and neat. What I'm going to do, quick ties. These are all cables that you will use in the future for any type of future expansions. It'll be ready and available right on the back of the case whenever you get to that point. Ready and waiting for you here. Okay. Yeah, sure, there's a little bit of here and there that I could have done differently, but don't need to do much more than that, guys. Covers the basics. Alright, let's patch her up. What's up, Killer? We'll fix it in post. Oh yeah, we'll fix it on the post. Yummy copper. By the way, Lenovo is building a Linux laptop. Even after Microsoft threatened them, they still built Linux's laptop. Oh, nice. I want a Lenovo laptop. Nice. Almost done. Go ahead and get the back panel installed. Yeah. This is what the front looks like. Now that we are all cable managed, it looks a lot nicer, neater, cleaner here. Let's go ahead and get the top panel and the glass on. Guess there's no peel on the inside, is there? Maybe not. And the top. And then that is what we're left with. Get this thing fired up. For the very first time. Wow, beautiful. Yes, lots of white. You will probably need sunglasses for this one, Rudy. All right, and just for clarification, your power button, let me show you. Your power button's down here on the side. It is not at the top or the front of the PC, it's on the side of the PC. So if you open this up and you're looking for your power button, it's on the side. Don't worry, we're gonna get you switched over to another camera view here. There we go. Yeah. All right, we're finally here, guys. We did it. We physically built it. Now it's time to power it up and see if it posts. Y'all ready for this one? Rachel, if you'd like to do the honors and let us know when you're ready to push that power button, I will do the honors for you. Killa says 3, 2, 1, and Rudy says yes. Here, so Rachel gave us the all clear. 3, 2, 1. By the way, I think it was just that back piece off the RGB connector that popped off. But we're all good. Let's see all of our RGBs. Look at that. Look at all that RGB. And we do have a post. A new CPU has been installed before making any adjustments in the BIOS. Blah, 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 blah. Press F1 to continue. Beautiful build. Indeed. Congratulations, Rachel. Detroit Truck Doctors. Thanks, Ben, for the best builder in the Michigan, bro. With the bitchin' soundtrack. Oh, okay. I have a bitchin' soundtrack. Thanks, Mike. By the way, Mike, Detroit Truck Doctor, is actually one of the guys that is the guy that came over while he was dropping his build off and plugged into our Suburban to see if there were any air codes. I want to say thank you to Mike, the Detroit Truck Doctor. He was more than willing to, even in the freezing cold, plug in and take a look at Mrs. Empower's Suburban to see if we could read any codes off there, which unfortunately we couldn't get any info off of it because it didn't leave any info or evidence. But that's Mike over on the YouTube, Detroit Truck Doctor, in the chat. Thank you so much. It looks so good. Yes. I think it turned out really nice. I told you this case was it was on my radar. I wanted to build in it, and it's I'm just so happy we picked out a build. Yes. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Rachel's build. Build number 14 for 2026 is completed. So we have completed another build. Is the RAM RGB? No, Loop, I'm sorry. The RAM is not RGB. Sorry, I missed your chat over there just a little bit ago, it looks like. It is Crucial Pro Series, so there's no RGB in the RAM, unfortunately. And because of the Micro Center bundle, it is not white. But again, that is something, if Rachel wants to upgrade in the future, is very easy to upgrade and change out. It's just very expensive. But again, because of the Micro Center bundle with the motherboard, CPU, and the RAM, which we would not have been able to build this much performance in the same rig without that bundle, we did get stuck with the black RAM, unfortunately. Or I would have 100% chosen different RAM for the color, for the aesthetics. But I think I did pretty good with the white, the request for a white build. I think we did pretty good. It's pretty white. It's got some flashy lights on it, which you can adjust. We could tone that down a little bit, turn the brightness down, adjust the colors if you'd like. It's all software controlled, so I could show you how to do that. But yeah, right now you get what you can, pretty much. Yeah, with today's memory prices, you gotta just roll with the punches and take what you can get. And the performance of the RAM is pretty good, so performance side, she's not gonna have a problem with it. Maybe might, you know, eventually want more RAM, but like I said, that's an upgrade for another day. It's a good start. Yeah. All right, guys. So that is the build for tonight. Tonight is Friday night. It is nearly 11 p.m. Eastern time over here. We did the build in about 2 hours, 17 minutes with a lot of chit-chatting in between. So I hope all of you have enjoyed it. If you are new to the channel and you're looking to extend yourself to the after party, the Discord after party, as some giant idiot would call it, you're more than welcome to join the Discord channel by punching in !Discord into the chat to receive the link. It's also posted in the YouTube channel on the page. But you're welcome to join there. A lot of people like to post questions there and talk about hardware, and we talk about all sorts of different things. Some people even play games in there. Sometimes you'll see me in there playing some games. I might even be in there later tonight. We'll see, depending on if I get all my work done. Which, you know, it's 11 p.m. It's time to get gaming, right? As Steve Anderson would say. All right, guys. That's it for me. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us and hanging out, watching us assemble Rachel's build. We'll see you on the next build stream, which is probably going to be sometime next week, because I still have to finish up with these open loops, which will be the death of me. No joke. They are killing me this week. Ain't nothing like a Discord party, because a Discord party don't stop. Good point, Chef Attack. Good point. Have a great night. Yes, you too, Rachel. I'll be in touch once we have this ready to go for you, because I got to install Windows, do the BIOS updates, do the testing and all that stuff that we do on them. And then I'll be in touch and let you know when it's ready for pickup. Should be this weekend, though. Shouldn't be long. So we'll see you probably this weekend. All right. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. Happy building.